I just watched a video. It's an excerpt from my dinner with Andre. I'm gonna watch that later tonight or tomorrow. Um, like the whole thing. But it's 1981 is when this film took place, and they were talking about exactly what's going on. Um, a shift, if you would, about how there are so many people, like in New York per se, is what they use as an example. It's like, how many people do you know in New York that are like, oh, I really want to leave, get out of here, because they're tired of what they're seeing. And like, but how many do? So many people are trapped, and he brings up the idea that pretty much it's like we created our own prison, and we're both the guards and the prisoners, but we're so stuck with all of the mainstream media that we just don't even realize it. We can't even see the prison that we've created and that we're living in. Um, I think it's pretty crazy that they were on this trip, 30 years ago. Like, that's something intense. But it shows you that we haven't really made much progress if people are still thinking about. Well, I mean, we've made some progress, but there's been a lot of negative progress as well. Um, there are a lot of people that are. Whoa, it has crazy deja vu. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, indigo children, blah blah blah. Yeah, but how many people are just saying that they're indigo children and then they're twiddling around with their crystals, but they're not out like doing something. They're not changing. There are a handful of people that are trying to like get stuff done, and a lot of people are trying to raise others' awareness. But how much is Facebook gonna get you? I mean, in the end, you're still sitting on Facebook doing nothing. Um, but to open your minds and maybe wake up to what has been thought about for a really long time. Um, I don't want to be a prisoner. That's why that TV is broken, and I don't care. We got it because our friend was like, "You need a TV. Here's a TV," and we were gonna watch the news, even though I didn't really like that. But it's broken, and I couldn't care less. Um, I don't like watching the TV or at least even news because they butcher everything that we've got, and you end up with a very misconstrued idea of what's actually going on. um, in the video, he actually says, "Yeah, blah blah blah." This guy, he's like, he gave up TV, newspaper, magazines. He gave it all up and blah blah. But we have to like think freely. A lot of people don't think freely. How many people actually have conversations when they're hanging out? I'm ecstatic when I hang out with somebody that's like, oh, well, what about that and that? We end up having this really long conversation about who knows what, trying to figure out what we think and feel about certain things. Most people just sit around on their phones and don't really have much more conversation other than, oh, I can't beat level whatever of whatever game they're playing. Or so and so said something about so and so. Like, get off it. Go out and learn something new. A lot of people aren't learning anything. Even if they are in school, just because you're learning stuff that they've written down in certain books, it's not exactly what our history might be. History is a little bit chopped up too. Go to the library and do something more than just get on the computer. Go read a freaking book. It's crazy what books do. They hold knowledge. I'm actually worried that if this does continue in the path that a lot of authors and free thinkers have thought, that knowledge is going to be kind of taken away. It's going to be, I mean, it's just going to be like 1984. This is what we want this book to say, so here's what this book is going to say, and no other truth will be known. That's why more people need to wake up and think and feel. Feeling is definitely something that a lot of us are lacking. So I advise you guys to do that. I'm going to watch that whole movie because it seems like it's going to be a very interesting film. So My Dinner with Andre and Waking Life should be on your like top 2 movies to watch because you are actually like watching something that's about thinking and changing your way of thought and might help you grow mentally, spiritually, whatever. I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you exercise your brain in some way that you have not recently.